Okay, I want to talk about how we're going to do the backgrounds to our 2-point perspective buildings that are in space. And we're going to use your color scheme of your choosing. All right, I want you to use one of the standard color schemes that you find on the color theory page that we already did and glued into our sketchbook. You can choose something like all primary colors or secondary colors. All right, warm or cool are both great options as well. You can also use complementary colors. The complementary colors you won't really be able to blend, but you can create a pattern in the background to put those in. Do be reminded that complementary colors, although we haven't talked about it, when they are right next to each other, they cause the eye to vibrate. So going back and forth between red and green can make your eyes do some funky things. Analogous colors are also great colors to use because, like warm and cool colors, we can blend those together. I don't recommend using the rainbow. You just have way too many options there. Although it is considered a color scheme, it's not that great of a color scheme because it uses basically everything. So you're just saying that I know how to use all my colors. What I would recommend is sticking to one of the basics up here with primary, secondary, or warm or cool, or complementary colors, or analogous colors. I'm going to go with some cool colors, so I'm going to be using blue and purple and green and a darker blue. Okay? And once I've chosen that, I will write that on the back of my paper along with my names that I've chosen cool colors, and then I can begin coloring on my 2-point perspective project. I'm going to use a note card, which most of you should have from using it as an eraser guard, and I'm going to use that as a guard for my edges here. Okay? So I'm going to start with a lighter blue, and I'm just going to guard my edges, and all of my outside of my paper is nice and clean now, and I'm going to use light pressure to start adding those colors in. You can always make it darker. It's not as easy to make it lighter. I know here in the video it may not look like blue, but this is called the sky blue in the Crayola color packet that we have. As I go darker, you might be able to see that it's a little bit more blue. I'm using the side of my pencil, sort of like doing a smooth, and I'm going to keep this real random. You can make it go from light blue all the way to purple and green over here so that it moves across in the fashion that you would see on your color wheel as they move. You can have them splotches everywhere, however you like to do it, as long as you stick to your color scheme. Okay, I'm gonna get some blue all the way around my buildings, and I may have to move my card in more than one direction. Just be very careful of your edges, because now that you have all that beautiful shading in there, you don't want to ruin it by getting color all over it. I don't recommend going around and outlining like you guys sometimes like to do on your coloring sheets and things like that. The idea is to make it look natural, like it's a background, and that it was there, and these other buildings were placed right on top, blocking that view of the background. Think about it when you look at the sky around buildings, as you ride home on the bus or in your own neighborhood. You're not going to see an outline around the buildings. The buildings just stop the color and create their own color there. So let's try and keep it natural and real, even though you may not necessarily see all these colors you're going to use in the sky around buildings around. But remember, this is our space house, and we can make it how we like, because right now there's no houses in space. Now see, I've already made a little mistake. You may not be able to tell it there, but I can see it, and there's a little bit of blue in my building. I'm going to try and use a little eraser to pick it up, and because this is pencil, then I can just go back in and add my shading back. Now that blue blends lovely with this green, and we can add in greens in here. Remember, if you want to blend the Crayola pencils, you really need to add them a little bit at a time. And because I'm using analogous colors, I don't have to really be careful about which color goes where, because these all blend really nicely together. You can do the same thing with analogous colors or warm colors. When you use primary or secondary colors, because they encompass all of the colors on the color wheel, you need to be careful about what you blend together. These guys I would leave in separate sections, very specifically in a pattern in the background. If you want the easy way out, I would go with warm or cool or analogous colors. They're going to be much easier for coloring and blending. So I'm going to continue to add color all the way around, and we're going to get it nice and vibrant in the background. I want it to really make your buildings pop. And so even though I'm going light with some of these colors now, I'm going to come back and do them darker. Make sure that you don't have any eraser shavings underneath your paper, as they will cause bumps and make for a not so clean coloring in the background. Okay. So if I want to add some darkness in here, I can come back and add a little bit of violet in there. Just keep going back and forth with your colors, carefully, slowly, deliberately, so that you have the colors in the places that you need. You may find that you are not able to get as much color on here as you want in the one block that you have to work on this. You will be able to work on it more than one day. 2 days, I think, is plenty of time. You should be done with your coloring as long as you've been diligent and stayed on task. Just make sure that you're really careful with your coloring. Don't go straight into your buildings and ruin all your hard work. You can go back and forth between pencils. You may find that you need to get up and sharpen your pencils. But make sure that you're being smooth and consistent all the way around. If you're going to do vibrant colors one area, you need to do them all the way around. Okay, even though I've only colored a small area here and it is not complete yet, by the time that I am complete, I will have all of the background here filled in carefully with my analogous or cool colors. I believe I said I was using cool, which means that I have more than one type of blue, a violet, a green. I can even have the darker green in here. So they should all be cool colors, colors that make me feel cold. I hope you have fun coloring your projects, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.